With 2021 Toronto Blue Jays draft pick and 2022 Vancouver Canadian Jimmy Burnette. Jimmy, you're in spring training right now. You got the non-roster invite. First off, tell us how you found out about the invite. Who gave you the good news?
Actually, Drew Hayes, who was the my low A pitching coach in 2021, and he was my checking coach in the off season, and he gave me the call and told me, and I was super excited, super stoked.
Were you expecting that call at all, or were you shocked?
I wasn't expecting it. I was shocked, but it was more like excitement, I'd say, and just kind of culminating all the hard work I've done so far and the hard work that's still ahead of me. That I was ready to go, but it was an exciting and I think cool phone call to get.
Well, obviously, they liked what you've done so far in 2022. You started the year with the Vancouver Canadians and averaged 2 strikeouts an inning. Talk about your time in Vancouver. I mean, you really racked up the Ks.
Vancouver was awesome. It was the city itself is great. The thing I think stuck out most is the support the Canadians get in the city and in the community. It's it's one of the best baseball atmospheres I've played in so far, and it's even being there from the first game. It was because there wasn't baseball there for almost, what was it, like 900 days or something like that.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
900 plus days.
yeah, it was like 953 or something like that, and just the like the loudness of the crowd on like a Tuesday night in the beginning of April, and for how cold it was awesome.
Your first Northwest League appearance came on opening night in Spokane, and you wind up getting the win in extra innings. I know they came back to tie it in the ninth, but what was the mentality like? You stranded, I believe, a runner in the eighth, and the ninth they did come back to tie it, but in the 10th inning, I guess, what do you remember about that outing, and I guess how you kind of had to reset yourself and eventually get the job done?
I just remember how cold it was. It was very cold. Um, but also it was kind of getting the like first game jitters out, and first time it was, I think it might have been my first time closing a game, so to get those jitters out as well. Um, and we just kind of try to put the ball in the zone, and I kind of gave up the lead, but we got it back, and I remember Davis Schneider through the game, what would have been the game winning out or game winning run out at home, and kind of helped us win it in the next inning.
And you continue to rack up the Ks. I mean, your final outing was in Spokane, where against Spokane, I should say. So you kind of got to measure revenge on them, striking out 6 guys in 2 innings. That was a heck of a way to end off your Vancouver tenure.
Yeah, that was fun. I hit the first guy with the first pitch. Don't especially as a lefty, I hit a lefty. I don't like to do that. I don't like to give him up. But I just came back and kind of struck them all out.
You get the call up to Double-A New Hampshire. How did you find out about it?
It was actually a couple days after that last. I think it was 2 days after my last outing. I think we got rained out, so we were coming in to the field to just do a little bit of work. And in the morning, Phil Kandari, who was the pitching coach in Vancouver, he texted me. He said, "Hey, when you get into the field, come to my office." I was like, okay. Went about my day like it was normal, and then walked in there, and all the coaches were in there, and Brent Lavalle, he told me the news. He gave everyone a hug, and he said, "All right, see you. I hope I don't see you again soon until next spring training."
I always kind of wonder how players do get the news. Sometimes they like to play jokes on you, but it seems like this one was fairly straight up.
Yeah, it was straight up. It was. I mean, Phil did text me early in the morning, so I didn't get to the field until about 2. So I had a lot of time to kind of go over every scenario that was going on in my own head. But yeah, this one was kind of fairly straightforward.
Okay, the adjustment at Double-A New Hampshire, what was that like for you? Was it a huge difference from high A ball?
I'd say the biggest difference for the hitters is they're very more fine in their approach. They stick to their approach. They get a pitch. They know a pitch that they want to hit, and if they get that pitch, they'll hit that pitch. And but I'd say that it's kind of the same game. It's all about putting putting the ball in the zone, strike one. It's all about strike one. If you can get strike one and you pitch ahead, no matter what level you're at, I think you can find success.
Your first season, when you look back on it, your first full season, how do you feel it went overall?
I think it went great. I'm very happy with it. It's obviously easier said, like looking back and seeing where I'm at now, but even if I wasn't grateful enough to have the opportunity to have this spring training, I would still say it was a very successful season for me. It was a healthy season, so that's all. That's another thing that makes it very successful.
Heading in the off season, was there anything you focused on specifically?
I I'm always looking to throw more strikes. I think I had 36 walks and I want to say 56 in the third inning over the year, and I think I wanted to limit the walks, so I was trying to find like really fine tune my mechanics and stay kind of not get out of my mechanics so I can find get into the zone more often, and then I really worked on a changeup a lot this offseason as well.
Okay, so the changeup, is that something you've added to your mix? I was looking at your first two spring training outings and going by what it says on MLB.com, I guess a sinker, slider, changeup. Is that your mix?
It's more of a four seam fastball, but how I throw, it all reads as a sinker, so it's not a traditional four seam. It's got a lot more horizontal arm side run than a normal four seam, but I think four seam in my head when I throw it, and then slider. And I haven't thrown the changeup yet in spring training games. I'm still in competitive mode where when I get out there, I want to obviously you want to beat the guy that's in the box. So I'm thinking it's gonna be my focus actually. The next couple outings is a changeup.
The changeup, is it a circle change or a split change?
It's just normal circle change, just kind of feeling, getting used to the feeling.
Okay. And your slider, is anyone who taught you that grip or how to throw it?
I actually, when I was at University of Illinois before I went to St. Leo, I worked with pitching coach, my pitching coach there, Drew Dickinson,
Okay.
and who's now the pitching coach at University of Virginia, and he kind of helped me with the slider, taught me a couple different grips for a slider, and I just found whatever was comfortable for me.
Okay, I want to talk about how you got started pitching. Came across a story from your high school days at St. Lawrence, and I believe the quote was basically, I was an outfielder who became a pitcher. So I guess, how did you get into pitching?
So I've always kind of threw hard for a lefty, I guess you can say. So I had a strong arm from the outfield. And when I was in high school, my high school pitching coach, Adam Lotus from St. Lawrence, he kind of, I wouldn't say, for lack of a better term, forced pitching onto me, and told me like, hey, like we want you to be a pitcher. You're gonna keep working at it, even if you're bad at it to start. You're still gonna work on it. We're gonna work with you all the time. And so he kind of gave me the footprint and like the step into pitching.
And I believe you played some football as well in high school.
I did,
Two-way
yes, all
player?
4 years, yes.
Okay. So I guess what made you decide between baseball and football? Did you feel just baseball was definitely your better sport?
I mean, I was a safety, so I don't think there's many for 6 foot, 180 pound, 85 pound safeties in high school. I don't think there's many spots for me on any Division I rosters.
I take it from Chicago, Bears fan,
Yeah,
Black
Bears.
Bulls, Chicago across the board.
Yeah, Bears, Blackhawks, Bulls. Yep.
Okay. All right. So you spent the majority of your time in Illinois. You played for the Fighting Illini. Uh, what was that like your first 3 years there before you went to St. Leo? I know you didn't have a whole lot of innings under your belt. I know COVID played a part in that, but talk about your experience first at Illinois and then St. Leo.
Well, Illinois, it's kind of it was yeah, like you said, I didn't have much success there, and part of that was because I went into Illinois also as an outfielder as well. So I didn't start like focusing on pitching until probably the season of my freshman year. So it was like February, like a week before the season started. So when I kind of became just a pitcher, and I was still learning the ropes, still trying to figure out who I was as a pitcher, and um I didn't really have success the first year, and then went and played summer ball and kind of found myself a little more. And then my sophomore year, some injuries happened here and there, and I still wasn't having success, so I was kind of down on myself, like lacking of confidence like mentally. So the mental side of the game was really kind of beating me up a lot. And then going into the COVID year, I had a little bit of success, but then it obviously everything stopped.
Yeah.
So I thought it was the best interest for me to kind of change the scenery, and I found a home at St. Leo, and Coach Rick Odette, who's actually from up in my area in Chicago, so kind of got hooked up through some people who know him and played for him, and kind of everything is kind of took off for me there.
Okay, so St. Leo, something obviously clicked. You got the Blue Jays' attention. What was the key to your success at St. Leo?
I think it was kind of just knowing that I'm a good pitcher. I went in there lacking confidence, and then when in the fall we kind of just broke everything down from ground zero. I haven't had any experience at all pitching, so we kind of went from the basics, and I think that really helped me a lot. And that seeing some success, and then a little early success helped a lot too. And then I found who I was as a pitcher, and that was a guy who's I only went out of the stretch at St. Leo, and I found that helped me get in the zone more. That simplified my mechanics more, and it all helped.
Well, you're getting some starts at St. Leo. I know you've been basically in the bullpen, but do you have a preference between starting and relieving?
I like relieving a lot. I see myself, my pitch profile, I think, works best out of the pen, and I also do like the adrenaline rush you get coming out of the pen.
Okay. Okay, so you got the Blue Jays' attention. 18th round, you go in. What was your draft day experience like?
It was I think it was a unique one because my best friend, who I've played with since I was 10 years old, he was drafted in the 12th round by the Rays, by Tampa Bay, excuse me.
Okay.
And so he was already celebrating, having about to have some people over, and I was like, hey, like let's hold up. All my friends are about to go out over to his house. I was like, let's hold up, let's wait. I don't know what's gonna happen. And then I get the call about 5 minutes before Toronto's pick was up, and got the call from Brandon, and then got the call from my agent, got the call back from Brandon, and he's next thing you know, my name's popped up on the screen, and I'm a Blue Jay.
And I know it's obviously a whirlwind. You get ready to head down to Dunedin. What was that like? Your first training camp, so to speak, before you got assigned to your first team?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy because I left 2 days after the draft and flew into Tampa, went to Dunedin, saw the complex and the beautiful complex we have here. It was a different world. I was very impressed and very kind of just shocked and eyes wide open the entire time I was walking around the first time I saw it. And it was everything kind of happened quick. And the first 2 weeks we were with just all the draft guys, doing a kind of like a draft camp, like an intro into pro ball pretty much. And then after those 2 weeks, it was all right, let's see what you got. Go compete.
And you got to end the year with the Dunedin Jays. You spent some time in the Florida Complex League. What were those experiences like, getting your first professional appearances under your belt?
Nerve-wracking. It was kind of just you don't know if you're good enough until you do it. So once I was, you got in there, and then you realize it's the same game you've been playing since you were 3 years old, or whenever you started playing baseball. So it was a little nerve-wracking, but first time getting in there, you calm the nerves a little bit.
If you had to give a scouting report on yourself, how would you describe yourself as a pitcher?
Uh I don't. I mean,
I've heard your high school coach saying bulldog. Is that something you might agree with?
I'd say bulldog. Yeah. I mean, I'm not the biggest dude out there. I'll give you all I got. I'll come at you. I'm not not scared of whoever's in the box. But yeah, I'd say that's an accurate description.
Okay, the player development complex, all the bells and whistles of that new facility. What's it been like for you to use that?
It's been great. It's we have everything we need and then some there. It's all the technology and all the resources we have is great. I come back here a couple times in the off season to use it and to be around all the coaches and staff here. So it's a great place to kind of, if you need some time to get back into like where you need to go and kind of get back on track. It's a great place to come to.
Would you say there's anything specifically it helped you out with? Maybe a release point or pitch grips or spin rates, or I mean, I know there's lots of things, lots of
Yeah.
information for you to use.
Just kind of the like all the learning all the technology and all the TrackMan and Rapsodo, all the numbers here, seeing all of my numbers and kind of where they play best in the zone and what kind of and when it in different counts. So just seeing all the like advanced analytics and all that kind of helped me, I think, a lot too.
Okay, so you're in your first full spring training as a non-roster invite. What's it been like so far? What stood out to you?
It's been great. I think it's the thing that stood out to me is, guys, they like to have fun. They still like to have fun, but when it's time to work, it's game faces. It's time to work. So that's what I like about it. Everyone's got, everyone in the clubhouse has the same mentality, whether you're the number one starter, you're the ace, or you're me, who's the non-roster invite. It's everyone in there's got the same mentality, and that mentality is to win a World Series.
Take us through, I guess, a typical day in spring training. Obviously, you have games in the afternoon, but what's your usual day or your usual routine?
Yeah, I get in there about 6:30, 6:30, 7 o'clock between. Um, do my workout in the morning, do cold tub training stuff, all the recovery and pre stuff. And we team meetings in the morning every day, and then go do our workout before the game, and then game starts at 1.
Okay, you get your first spring training appearance under your belt. You wind up pitching the third inning. Zach Thompson ran into a bit of trouble, and you had a couple runners on. You were warming up in the pen, and take us through what it was like getting ready for that outing.
I think it was what helped me is that it was kind of everything happened quick, so I didn't really have time to get nervous and to think about it. So it was I excuse me, it was couple batters before I went in. I was told to get hot, get going, so I started rapid firing, get going, get hot, and next thing you know, I'm running into the game, and next thing you know, I'm in the dugout looking back, I'm like, I don't even know what just happened.
So yeah, you really weren't paying too much attention as far as who was up at the plate. It was another left-handed hitter, Jack Sawinski. He hit 19 home runs last year for the Pirates. So this is a guy who can definitely hurt you if you make a mistake. But I mean, that's going to be the kind of situation that you'll find yourself in as a left-handed pitcher.
Yes, it was. I think it was good that it was a lefty, so I'm kind of familiar with what I do against lefties, and kind of have a similar plan against all lefties. But yeah, it was kind of just felt like an actual game, and then kind of like what it is would be like in the middle of July. So it was kind of familiar territory for me.
Do you remember the details of that at bat? Do you remember what your approach was or what you were thinking at the time?
Slider first pitch strike, slider for a ball, fastball outside corner for a strike, backed up slider for a ball, slider for a foul ball, and then fastball swing and miss up and away.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So eventually that definitely helped get the Blue Jays out of a sticky situation and eventually come back to win. Your next outing, you got your first spring training save, striking out two guys. What do you remember about that outing?
Just I kind of forgot the adrenaline rush you get when you're going into ninth and get for a save opportunity. So it was also familiar territory too. So I had 8 saves last year, so I was glad to get a save, glad to get in there, glad to help us win.
Okay, got to ask you from Chicago, did you like the Cubs or the White Sox, or did you have a favorite major league team?
Yeah, I grew up a Cub fan. I was
Okay.
a Cub fan on the south. I grew up on the south side of Chicago.
Now, did you ever go watch White Sox games, or did you feel maybe that was sacrilegious, or what was, or I
No, we
guess
I went to White Sox games, yeah, because it was an easy train ride up from my house. It was just I just had to take one train about 15 minutes, and I was at the park. So I went to a decent amount of White Sox games growing up. I'm just I mean I was a huge baseball fan growing up. I loved the game from a young age. So any chance I got to go to a game, no matter who was playing, I was going to a game.
2016 the Cubs win it all. I'm sure you're probably in town, I guess, celebrating all that. Did you get to see any games or anything like that, or are you just watching on television?
Uh, I was just watching. It was my senior year of high school, and it was in the we had it was we had high school playoffs that year, or we were in the playoffs for football. So no, I also had a knee injury that year, so I was kind of sidelined a little bit, so I couldn't go to many playoff games. But I was watching the games and watched the final out with my dad, so that was pretty cool.
Did you have a favorite player or pitcher with the Cubs?
John Lester.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Jimmy, I won't take up too much more of your time. The only other question I'll ask is basically your goals for 2023. What's your approach heading into another season, another full season of pro ball?
I'd say the biggest thing is kind of just be healthy, stay healthy, keep it my routines, my pre-routine, my post-routine, make sure it's another healthy year because I think if it's a healthy year, it's a successful year. So, yeah, I don't not really trying to think too far ahead and what could happen, but I just try and wherever I'm at, whatever team I'm on, just try and help the team win as many ball games as possible.
Sounds good. Jimmy, thanks a million for this. I really appreciate you making time, and all the best to you in 2023 and beyond.
Thank you so much.